In today's video, I wanted to show you how to convert a watercolor illustration, a digital watercolor illustration that is transparent, into something that is opaque so that you can make stickers with it and you can put it anywhere you want without having the background peek through. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. Hello and welcome to Color with Candy. So for today's video, I would suggest that you pick any illustration that you've made that is a watercolor illustration that is transparent and open it up so you can follow along with me. So I'm using this illustration that I made earlier. The original illustration actually did have paint splatters like this, but I am not using that for today's tutorial. I want to keep things a bit simple. But if you want to learn how to make this illustration, there is a tutorial. I'm going to put that in the description and pinned comment. And okay, so I'm going to remove that. So what I want to do is right now I have this watermelon slice. It is transparent and I want to make sure that it's no longer transparent. So I'm going to show you in the layers panel. How do I know it's transparent? All you have to do is turn off the background color and you will see that I can see the background color and I can also see the paper texture. So we have to fix a few things here. So first thing I want you to do is just merge down your layers. If you are going to make an opaque background for your illustration, you want to make it opaque, it's important to merge down the layers. So before you do this in your original file, I would suggest that you make a copy or a duplicate of your Procreate file. So just in case something goes wrong, at least you have a copy. So this is not a copy, so I'm going to go to my gallery and I'm going to swipe to the left and duplicate it. That way you are not touching the original because sometimes things go wrong and you don't want to touch your original and ruin it. So first things first, in the layers panel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge all of my layers. So let's make sure that was done correctly. So if I turn that off, everything's gone. So now I've merged everything onto one layer. Now, I don't want the paper background. I don't need it for my illustration anymore. I would not use it if I was creating a sticker. I don't need it. So I'm just going to turn off my paper background. So as you can see, my paper background is gone. So now what I'm going to do is just turn off this background color. But do you see, even after turning off the paper background, I'm still seeing paper. Tell you why. We have a paper overlay here. So what we need to do is, before we make this particular illustration opaque, no longer transparent, we have to clip the paper onto this particular illustration. So this is an extra layer I have. I'm going to delete that. And I have an extra layer here. I'm going to delete that. So now I have the paper overlay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these clipping masks. So that way the paper texture is only going to show up on the shape and not everywhere else. Because right now, if I turn my background color off, I see it everywhere. I need that to go away for me to actually do the next step. So I'm going to, first of all, I don't need that layer because I don't have it on, delete. So I have these two layers. I'm just going to tap on them and then make them clipping masks, but I can't do that. Do you see? I tapped on it, but I can't make it a clipping mask. That's because this layer is currently in its own group. I have to take a layer out of a group before I can use it as a clipping mask. So now I'm just going to remove it from the group. Tap and drag. There we go. Okay, so now that they've been removed, I'm going to delete this. Now it's very simple. All we have to do is tap on it, clipping mask. Tap on it, clipping mask. So now it is clipped to our illustration. And if I turn it off, the background color, you can see I no longer have that paper texture. So that's how you do it, because a lot of digital watercolor illustrations do come with the paper texture canvas. So this is what you do if you have to deal with the paper texture and you want to keep the paper texture. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to merge. Now everything is on one layer. Turn the background color. It's still not opaque. Now we move on to the next step where we make this opaque. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a copy of this particular illustration, swipe to the left, duplicate. So do you see what's happening? It's becoming more opaque, but let me turn the background color back on. It's losing some of its watercolor effect. So you don't want to create something that looks more opaque, but no longer has the watercolor effect. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn off this top layer. We're going to come back to this later. Let's just go to the bottom layer. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this multiple times until it's completely opaque. And to test if it's completely opaque, just turn this off. It's completely opaque. I can't see the background color. But this no longer looks like watercolor. It's lost some of that transparency. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this entirely to white. And then I'm going to merge it with this layer at the top. So basically what I'm doing is, it's kind of like you're making a white backing in the same shape as your original layer and then attaching it to your original layer. So your original layer will still look as it did earlier. So what I'm going to do is go in to hue, saturation, and brightness and reduce the brightness. So do you see what happened? It's turned completely white. So what I have essentially is an exact replica in terms of the shape of our illustration, but it is completely white and completely opaque. There are other ways to do this, but I find that they don't work that well. Your shape will not look exactly the same size as your original shape. It's just too complicated. This is the easiest way that I found, is duplicate your layer multiple times until it becomes opaque, then convert it to white, and you have a beautiful shape. Now, I'm going to turn that layer back on, our original illustration. And now if I merge it, so this is how you're going to see that we did this right. Let's turn off the background color and let's turn off this. So do you see right now it's transparent, but if I turn this on, it's no longer transparent, but I have an illustration that looks exactly like it did. It didn't change how the illustration looks. Merge these two. So now you have everything on one layer. It is your original illustration and it is now completely opaque. And you can put this on top of anything. I could paint black in the background. I'll show you. I'm going to turn this back on and I'm going to create another layer right here. Go in with black and let's see. We'll go in this brush here. I now have black in the background, but I don't see it because this is no longer transparent. And there are no funny white edges. But sometimes with the other methods, you may have funny white edges. This method works every time, no funny edges. So if that didn't click, let me undo and show you again. Let's go back. Okay. So let's talk about this again. So we have a layer here, merged layer. Everything is on one layer. This is our illustration. It is transparent. We need to make it opaque. So we duplicate it, turn off the top layer because we want to preserve that. And then we take this layer and we duplicate it multiple times and merge it. And duplicate it and merge it until nothing is changing here, that it looks opaque. We check that it's opaque, then we convert it to white. Go to hue, saturation, brightness. Increase your brightness all the way to max. It's now white. Go to your layer panel and then turn on your original illustration. Merge them. So now you've added a white backing in the same shape and it is no longer transparent. It's opaque. And there we go. Now you can take this and you can export it as a PNG. Make sure you turn off the background color first when you export this as a PNG. Otherwise it will export with the background. So now just export it as a PNG. Go to share, PNG, and then you can use it as a sticker. You can do whatever you want with it. So PNG, and it will export as a PNG, and you can save the image or you can save it to files. It's up to you. And I just want to show you, if you wanted to use this as a sticker in GoodNotes, how do you do it? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swipe down with 3 fingers, tap on copy, and then you can go into GoodNotes and then just go to image and then tap and hold, and it will paste it. And you see, no background in sight. It's just the image, and I don't see the lines underneath. So I hope now you can create lots of stickers and interesting things with your digital watercolor, and it won't be transparent. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. Bye!